is under pressure. We live under pressure. I was gonna say we sleep under pressure. Uh, some people do, I guess. Um, but fortunately, no. Most human beings in their sleep, they're like reflectors. They're just nicely carried along by the program, choicelessly and without interference. But it is true. It is something that even human design students do not realize. The two pressure centers, they tend to be ignored because, you see, they have no direct access to the throat. They don't make themselves visible or audible. Pressure has to be filtered by, the centers that stand between the pressure centers and the throat. So, and yet they move everything. And you see, pressure is healthy. I know it because I have both pressure centers defined in my design. Pressure in the body is what keeps me alive. When you die, you experience no pressure anymore. But pressure, becomes what we call stress, what we call anxiety, when it permeates the psyche, because when it permeates the psyche, it becomes a destabilizer for the human personality. We get all stressed and shaked up and busy, trying to figure out, how to get rid of the pressure, because we think eliminating the pressure is the way. And of course, it's not. You don't eliminate the pressure. You learn, if you're fortunate, to manage it and to use it for your own benefit. In other words, to transform pressure into pleasure. Different forms of pleasure. If you're a manifester, it's got to be pleasures that you can enjoy in peace with yourself. If you're a generator, it's going to be pleasures that give you satisfaction about who you are for yourself. And pressure is what's there in the program. I mean, it's what's been there for some time, because the South Node, has been moving through, root gates since 2 years. And most pressure gates, when you look at the polarity in the wheel, they bring out another pressure gate in the root itself. And this is where we have been having the 38 and the 39 occupied by the nodes during the whole last month of October. And, I made no specific mention about the potential for violent outbreaks, because, this potential is always there when it implies the root. The root connects to the spleen and it creates fear. The root connects to the solar plexus and it creates feelings. And the root connects to the sacral center and it creates frustration and potential depression. So, and you can see, it's scary sometimes to see how precise the program is, in this last month with the 38 and the 39, all these outbreaks of violence, in Hong Kong, in Spain, in Catalonia, in Chile, in Bolivia, in Ecuador, all this frustration, all this, excuse me, distorted pressure, distorted pressure, violence, destruction. I mean, humanity's evil, nothing new. Nothing new. And, those of us who have a defined root center, that we are naturally built to withstand the pressure on one side, but on another side, as there are these breakouts of violence around us, that we are also, in danger of being provoked and pulled in, without necessarily wanting to take part or party in this. And this pressure is not going to disappear. I mean, in the first week of November already, the nodes shift again. I mean, this has been one of the fastest nodal transits in a gate that I have seen in my 26 years of work with human design. But, don't be fooled. I mean, the nodes move from 2 pressure gates to another 2 pressure gates, and nothing says things are gonna get better. I mean, yes, in the 38 and in the 39, we have the cross of tension, we have the channel of struggle, it gets really, really hot. But the following pair of gates that the nodes are bringing, the 52 and the 58, this brings the cross of service, the fuel for uniformity, the fuel for, who's ready to identify with white and act white and preach white and fight the black. It's like, it's gonna be time, to take party. In other words, that it's not like the division and the struggle is going to end. The only thing that is going to become clearer, in this coming month is who is with who is on the side of the forces of good, which is always us, and who is on the side of the forces of evil, which is always them. The temptation, this pressure to choose on whose side you're going to be, forgetting yourself in the equation, forgetting that we're not here to take party in this homogenized farce, charade that is manifesting itself in the world every day. I mean, we can't go against that, we can't deny it, but we're here for ourselves. At least this is what human design proposes. You're unique. You have no choice about that. You better love it, because it's the only way to get the best out of life. The other thing I want to comment briefly on in regard to the program, aside from this nodal shift, is the fact that the sun starts the month of November positioned in the last gate of the quarter of duality. So the bonding and the mating season is over, and what starts, I mean, you can see what starts. It's behind me. The fall, the autumn, the announcement of death, life contracting, into itself. This is what the program is inviting everyone now into introspection. And if you cannot follow this natural pulse of life and allow it to take you on this inner journey of meeting yourself in the void of your own consciousness and awareness, this is now the time of dogmas, of not knowing what to believe, of beliefs losing their force, and, the consequent melancholy of, not being happy with what you believe, and not knowing what to do if you don't believe it. This is a place where if you don't know who you are for yourself, and if you don't know how to move in the world without having to constantly see what someone else would do in your place, then this is always a very hard time in the year, because, it's like losing the foundation of your beliefs. And, it is it's a natural pause, it's the program just demanding the mind to not make plans for the next cycle. This is the time for the harvest. This is the time to review, how, the experiences, the value of the experiences, the value of the bonds that you experienced during the summer, and in which ways they have transformed you, whether they have transformed you in an empowering or in a disempowering way. In other words, in ways in which you are happy to be who you think you are, or you are not, or you don't know. Well, not knowing is something that's natural in the quarter of mutation. You know, this is the quarter of mystery. This is the quarter of testing the foundation of your own truth, how much of it is rooted in your own experience, in your own knowing, and how much it is rooted in some belief, some more or less idealistic belief, Promethean belief, believe in a better tomorrow, and things of the like. Don't waste your time like that, embrace the void of your own form, because that's part of the process of surrendering to the form as a personality, and then discover the beauty and the value of enjoying your own form as a passenger. That's what the personality is here to be, a good passenger that moves around in beautiful spaces throughout the 4 stations. Enjoy the ride, enjoy the flow of your movie. Talk to you soon again. Bye for now.